Thank you, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live today, our weekday radio show featuring community news and local issues. And just in time for this afternoon's regular City Council meeting, we're featuring our City Manager Jan Baum with an update, a look over the agenda, and just to let listeners know, there are quite a few special summer events and activities ongoing and upcoming. So, Jan, as always, we appreciate seeing you here today and the update in city news. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori, and appreciate you having us here and allowing us to educate the public.
Yeah, we do have quite a busy agenda today for those who are thinking, well, summer, we kind of kick back a little. Well, the city is just keeping on with all the business. And the council will meet in regular session beginning at 4 o'clock today. And so we'll look over some of those top agenda items. I know that you did want to really lead off, though, with it's going to be an impactful summer project, right, with the micro ceiling?
Yes. So Scott Algerio, he's our streets department manager, and he provided me with a schedule for the micro slurry and the chip seal that is coming up soon. So the first micro slurry will start on August 1st, so that's right around the corner. And I'm not going to give the exact specifics, but I do want to bring to the awareness of the public that Silver Street will be one of our major projects this summer, and so that'll obviously impact some travel. We're going to try to do the micro slurry and the chip seal for Silver Street on Saturdays. So hoping to impact businesses and of course commuters as little as possible. And then that'll lead into Ericart Boulevard. And when we do Ericart Boulevard, we will close that road. So that will obviously be impactful. People will have to reroute to 12th Street or 5th Street or whatever is best for them. And then we'll do some on Bullion Road. And then the major neighborhood that we will be doing micro seal on is up there behind Mountain View Park. And so that whole neighborhood, what they didn't get done last year, they will finish this year. And so all of this micro slurry and chip seal will start on August 1st and hoping to finish up on August 21st. And this will be posted on our website and on our Facebook page once that is all gathered, and Kelly, our city clerk, has that together, and she'll get that out so that the public will be informed.
Thanks for the update on that, Jan. It's really important work. It helps preserve the condition, I guess, of the asphalt, the concrete in certain places, and so it's really necessary, and this is the only time of year you can do it.
Absolutely. The street department is so busy this time of year, right? They start out the summer with potholes and doing a lot of maintenance, and now we move into the micro slurry and the chip sealing, and you're right. This is how we keep our streets going, and we have a capital construction fund that we receive ad valorem taxes into, and that's the primary purpose of this fund is for our street program. And so Paul is going to spend approximately $1 million on micro slurry and chip sealing this summer.
Well, that's good that he had the money and the budget, and it will make for nice, smooth services, hopefully for years to come, if not several months. It usually is weather dependent. And I forgot to ask, is Paul the new Public Works Director? Or he's the street department?
He's the street department.
Oh, good.
We haven't filled the Public Works Director yet.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, well, just to let folks know, I guess if that's something you're interested in, you can go online, or?
It's not posted yet. We actually have an RFP out right now for a salary survey and kind of an organization. We're not going to do a reorg, but just to look at our organization and how it's set up, and so that's one of the positions that we're going to have looked at and make sure that we and that position is put into the organization correctly.
That's always a good idea. Anytime there are changes, you can reevaluate, just like we do with master planning. And I know we'll be talking about that because our Parks and Rec department is also in the midst of planning, and you're asking for public input there.
Yes, we are. And actually, that's on my list. So that's perfect. Yes, so we have a survey out right now, and we are in the middle of revising the recreation and parks portion of the master plan, and a survey was mass emailed out just recently, and a lot of people are thinking it's spam, and we understand that because everybody is very sensitive to spam right now. So, but it is a Survey Monkey, if anybody's heard of Survey Monkey, but it's a Survey Monkey survey. It does have City of Elko on the survey, and if people aren't trusting their email, they're more than welcome to come to our website, and right on the front of the website it says take the survey, and you can get in there, and it's just like a 2-minute survey, and just it kind of goes over what portions of the parks that each person likes the most and what they like about it, and just want some public input.
Yeah, it's really an easy process. I was talking to Vice Mayor Councilwoman Mandy Simons, and she said she took it and it didn't take long at all. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be a city resident, Jan. There's a QR code, and it'll be posted on signs in the parks as well.
Yes, and actually, I personally don't live in the city limits. I live right on the outskirts, and I took it, and it just asks if you live in the city limits or if you live outside the city limits. So you just answer that question and take the survey. And
that it's not going to, I guess, in any way delineate the results of the survey. It's just a part of the information, because obviously the city is within the county, and county residents are invited to enjoy the amenities within the city. It just gives you an idea of maybe who's participating and what ideas they have for the future.
Yes, I believe so. And the master plan is a guide for the city in the long term. And so it's good to update. And there's been a lot of chatter about recreation and parks recently. So it's a good idea to update this portion of the master plan. And so we're hoping to have that finished in a couple months, and have the results into the master plan as a whole.
Oh, great. So this is a great opportunity. Family, friends, neighbors, you can participate in that survey. It's a monkey survey, as Jan was describing, and Survey Monkey.
Yes, I know it sounds so strange, but it's a Survey Monkey, and you see those out every once in a while. But yes, please participate. The more participation we have, the better. So please feel free to go on our website and fill that out.
In fact, I think City of Elko Parks and Recreation Advisory Board is going to be meeting this week, or next week, I guess it's next week, on August 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at City Hall, and that is a local public advisory board. So
yes, it is, and they give guidance on how to spend the recreation, the portion of the transient tax that goes to the recreation fund, and so there are going to be a couple openings on that committee. So if people are interested, I don't think that's posted yet, but it will be soon.
Oh, good. So those are positions in which I believe you do need to be a city resident to apply for those.
Absolutely, you do need to be a city resident, and yes, I feel bad that's not posted quite yet, but it will be once City Council gives approval to put that out.
That sounds great, Jan. So in the meantime, if you are interested in that, August 3rd, 6:30 p.m., you can attend Parks and Rec Advisory Board and just meet some really terrific people and see the kind of work that they're able to accomplish. But we are visiting with our city manager, Jan Baum, in advance of this afternoon's regular council meeting. That'll begin at 4 o'clock today. Among the items, too, I know we skipped around just a little bit, but I want to make sure there will be a presentation at the top of the agenda. No action is required, but Great Basin College President Joyce Hallens is going to give an update on college metrics. So any idea how we got this on the agenda? Or
they actually emailed in and requested to be on the agenda. I think it's just an education and informational presentation, and yes, so President Joyce Helen will be there to present that, and rural higher education is so important in our community, and so I think it'll be great to show the positive impact that GBC has in our community, and I look forward to the presentation.
That'll be, again, not an action item, but so anybody interested in the future of GBC, I know that there have been conversations, and I think we're going to get an update pretty soon on a proposed merger between GBC and the University of Nevada, Reno. There was an agenda item on Friday's Board of Regents meeting pertaining to that, but it was tabled. It was pulled from the agenda, and so maybe this is part of the fact-finding mission, and I'm sure if council members of the community have questions at the council meeting, they can ask those today.
Yes, I would hope so.
All right, so that'll be at the top of the agenda at 4 o'clock today. You're also going to get an update, and the police chief talked about this. His program is going to air Thursday, Jan, but there's some concern, again, ongoing concerns about the Elko Inn at 8th and Idaho Street, and maybe if the city can pursue this as a nuisance property.
Correct. So there have been several additional complaints from neighboring properties and residents, I believe. A lot of them are do not include their names. They're anonymous, I think, because they're a little nervous about the type of people that are at that property. So, but anyway, there have been several complaints that have come in, and so the code enforcement officer, Kirsten, she presented the city clerk with a formal complaint. And actually, we now have a formal investigation pending on the Elko Inn in regards to a nuisance investigation. And so we will be giving an update to council on the Elko Inn situation. And this is it for information only, a non-action item. But then, based on the investigation, we will bring that back to council as an action item in the future.
Okay, so if you are following this issue, if you have concerns, and I think it is fair, Jan, to say that some of the neighboring residents, businesses, other property owners, just people in the area, they are fearful, and that's why it's hard to come forward.
Absolutely, and the police are doing their best. I mean, we have an amazing police department, and they're doing their best. They are consuming a lot of time for our public safety, and which is bothersome as well, because there's more properties and places for them to be to keep the public safe than just one address, I guess I should call it. And so it is concerning to the neighbors, it's concerning to the city council, and it's concerning to the public safety officials. So we definitely need to get this investigation going.
All right. Thank you, Jan, for the update. That will be on this afternoon's City Council agenda, those ongoing issues at the Elko Inn at 8th and Idaho Street. Let's see. There's going to be, I know we're skipping around a lot.
Okay.
There are some new employees, and that's always a pleasure to get to introduce them under personnel.
Oh, yes. So we have a part-time animal control officer, and then a new patrol officer, Jordan Taylor, which we're always excited to have. We're excited to have new employees as a whole. I don't ever want to belittle any new employee. We are just always thrilled to have a new team member. But the police department, as I don't know if you're aware, but they are short of officers, and I think that that's a problem all over the nation. We are so fortunate to have a community that supports our police officers, and I believe that's why we are successful in getting police officers to the Elko Police Department. But anyway, welcome to Jordan Taylor, and then Jennifer Huddleston is joining the airport, and so Jim is very excited to have Jennifer. She's got some experience with the airport, and so we're excited to have her as well.
That's terrific. So from part-time animal control, that's Seth Robinson, to Jordan Taylor, patrol officer, to Jennifer Huddleston, who is an operations maintenance officer at the Elko Regional Airport, and at just the right time because things are getting busier at the airport.
Oh, they are busy, and they've been painting and are finishing that up. And I just want to mention, while we're talking about that, there are additional patrol officer job openings on our website, and so if anybody is interested in that position, that is on our elkocity.com. And then also a park maintenance person, there's an opening for that on the website as well.
That's great to know. We know that the city has employed a lot of seasonal employees, people who work in parks and even at the golf course, and those are really important positions.
Absolutely. And we've been really lucky this summer with seasonal employees. In the last couple of years, we've been a little short on seasonal employees, but we are pretty much fully staffed with seasonal employees, and we're happy to have them.
Well, that's great. Jan Baum is our Elko City Manager. We're updating city news here on the radio show in advance of this afternoon's regular council meeting that'll open at 4 o'clock at City Hall. You can also follow along online. elkocity.com is that website. Things that I know I highlighted here, the appointed officials' job performance, that'll be conducted this afternoon. And again, we say it a lot on the radio show, Jan, but all of you wear a lot of different hats, and these departments work very closely together. The city of Elko is a pretty small but dedicated professional staff.
We absolutely have an amazing team at the city of Elko, and you're right, we have 4 appointed officials. There's, of course, myself, and then Ty Troughton, who's the police chief, James Johnston, who is the fire chief, and that's fairly new for Chief Johnston, and he's doing an amazing job, and then Kelly Wildridge, who's our city clerk, and the 4 of us work very well together, and we just have really an amazing team.
So thanks for reminding us of that, Jan, and that evaluation will be up on this afternoon's agenda. Mm-hmm. And let's see, I'm looking over Department of Conservation Natural Resources, and the Office of Financial Assistance grant application process is open, and there's $100 million for statewide qualifying projects, and the city has several submissions in the queue, and that's really great that city staff is hard at work, because it takes time to apply for these projects.
Absolutely, and they want shovel-ready projects, so those are projects that we have engineered and are ready to get going. And if anybody is familiar with our ARPA projects, which are all water projects, most of these are those same projects. A few months ago, we realigned our ARPA projects, and so these applications are primarily those same projects, but if we could get even 1 or 2 funded, then we could finish 100% a couple of our ARPA projects, which would be very exciting for us, and then we could put the money to a different project. So anyway, we're hoping that we can get even 1 project funded would be amazing. And so Dale Johnson, our utility director, he's a really hard worker, and he has a lot of projects going, and he put these applications in for us. And anyway, so we're hopeful that maybe we can get at least 1 or 2 awarded. Or even a portion.
Oh, yeah, these are multi-million-dollar projects. It adds to the local economy, but most importantly, it enhances growth and development, as well as, safety. It's improvements to drinking water, stormwater, wastewater systems, and even to help retire water rights in some over-appropriated basins. That doesn't appear to be the case in these requests from the city, but these are really great projects, and as you said, they are shovel-ready.
Absolutely, and you're right. Then they also provide like a second source of water source, or even additional water for fire safety to different portions of the community. So the 4 projects here are Cattle Drive water tank and tank line, Elko Hills water tank and tank line, Ericart water line extension, which we've been talking about a lot lately, and North 5th Street Booster Station tank and water line. We have all of these projects engineered and ready to go, so everybody cross your fingers.
Yeah, good luck on that. That's great. That would be wonderful to steer some of those resources to rural Nevada and Elko County. And also on the agenda today, this may be surprising to some people. The city has been at work on this, the city attorney's office on behalf of the city since March at least. I'm trying to recover quite a bit of damages. We're also excited to have enhanced broadband service, and that's been happening. But unfortunately, it looks as though there were some damages that were incurred by contract workers who were installing the service in some residential areas, Jan, and that's on the agenda today.
Yes, it is. So there was a letter sent to this particular vendor back in March, like we said, and we met about it, or they met about it once after the letter, but then they've been non-responsive. And Anthem Broadband is one of the two major vendors that are bringing the fiber into our city and our community as a whole. Really, it's coming all over the county, and we are so thankful to get the fiber. But this is a difficult one because one of the major infrastructure problems that we had was a sewer line was
I guess punctured?
Punctured, thank you.
Okay.
Was punctured, and it caused a lot of damage, and this is just the cost to the city of Elko. We didn't increase the cost or add anything to this. It was direct cost to the city taxpayers, and so we're just asking for reimbursement for the damages to the infrastructure. So we're so thankful that the fiber is coming into our community, but it's difficult because some of the infrastructure repairs are causing a lot of money, causing the taxpayers to have to pay for some of the infrastructure that is getting damaged. So we're hoping that we can come together and figure out what to do on this line item, and hoping that they will agree to reimburse the city.
It's not an insignificant amount, Jan.
No, it's $213,158.86, and you're right. When you puncture a sewer line, it's a big deal. It costs a lot of money to repair that, a lot of labor. It's a big deal when you puncture a sewer line.
Yeah, this affected a property in particular on Dada Drive and caused, according to this line item, $153,487 in damage to that one property.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there were some water lines that were also punctured, and that's the extra, 50, 60,000. So
right. So that's where those amounts are coming from. So that will be up for discussion again during this afternoon's regular meeting. And as you said, good luck to the city. I don't think anybody would regret getting broadband and the fiber that comes along with that, but those damages are very significant.
Yeah, it is significant, and we need some direction from council on how to go forward with this.
All right, so that'll be on the agenda today. And then also, interesting, if people are following some development in the city, there is going to be the first reading of an ordinance for a change in zoning. And this is a real visible property. It's in the vicinity of the Peace Park, Benty Drive. There was a historic little family homestead, I think, there. Ruby Vista Drive is also in the neighborhood, Spruce Road. And the owner is looking for a rezone. It's about 10 acres, so it's possible we could see some development there.
Yes, I believe so. He's wanting some single-family and multiple-family residential zoning for that piece of property, and I believe the house is still there, and I don't know if they'll keep that house there or how that'll work, but yeah, I think that's an exciting development, and it's a great location. So we're excited about that development.
It really adds to the property tax, the tax base within the city, gives more housing options for residents. Sometimes it's a mixed bag, Jan, because people say, oh, that little historic farm is kind of going away. It's possible that that's happening with the rezone, but it is an island right now. It is surrounded by development, some commercial, some residential properties.
Yes, it is surrounded by residential properties right now, and then it has a lot of sagebrush and grass and things like that, so it'll be good to have that developed and in the middle of the city, so I'm excited to see that.
And it is nice because as we opened up the show talking about contributing ideas and thoughts about future of parks and recreation. There's a beautiful Peace Park there, so the residents and the school children, CADV, there's a very nice little sanctuary, so we're not giving up all the green space.
Absolutely, and you're right. The Peace Park is just beautiful, and it goes right along the creek, and it has a nice walkway, and it's a great little park right there, and I see a lot of people enjoying it, and it's a great addition to our community. It's been there quite a few years, but it's great. One other item that I just quickly want to touch on is the animal and fowl change in the code. The major code change here is to change the holding period for pets from 7 days currently in the code to 5 days. And so when there are strays brought in or pets are surrendered, currently we have to keep them for 7 days. And in the animal shelter, which we were here a couple weeks ago, it gets full very quickly. And so the law is that we have to keep them for 3 days. So we're not going down as far as the NRS says we can, but we are going to decrease that holding period from 7 days to 5 days. And so I just wanted to make sure the public was aware of that.
Well, thanks, Jan. That'll be also up for consideration, and I'm sure with council approval. There have been many compliments as to the management of the shelter and the collaboration with the different animal rescue groups, and this should just serve to heighten awareness about the importance of spaying and neutering.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a spay-neuter clinic every Tuesday, and yes, it's so important to spay or neuter your pet. That'll help us keep the numbers of strays and unwanted pets in our community down. And so I agree. The animal shelter does an amazing job, but it's a small facility. It isn't real big, and so we do our best to keep the numbers down, and we transport to different facilities outside of Elko County when we get too full, and we do that quite often. So yes, please spay or neuter your pet.
Yeah, no more unwanted litters. Jan Baum is our city manager, and those are the highlights. There are some other items, obviously, and we always look forward to reports from individual department heads. There's a lot of information in the city council meetings, so please attend in person or follow along online. I was just going to mention a couple more quick meetings. Our Redevelopment Advisory Council will meet this week on the 27th, so today's Thursday, thank you, at 4 o'clock. And this is the group that steers the redevelopment in the district, what's that district called? The General Improvement District, correct?
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes. So there's some specific projects. They'll be discussing storefront improvement, urban design overlay, and it's not too late to apply for an infrastructure grant, which could also be significant for a property owner within that development district.
Exactly. So the infrastructure grant program is open until the 31st, and this program assists business owners or property owners with different upgrades that are required to conform with the building code. And some examples could be the ADA upgrades or fire suppression or backflow installation or new water lines, different things like that are infrastructure changes that can be quite expensive for business owners or property owners. And so if people are interested in applying for the infrastructure grant program, please go to our website. And again, that grant program is open until the 31st.
Well, thank you, Jan. And if you are successful in applying, or even if you just have questions, you'll get to work with a really exceptional staff in the city planning and development department because, Kathy Laughlin can help. She has, I think, a special interest and expertise in some of our historic buildings downtown Elko. She understands what some of the construction, concerns and needs that have to be met. And she's just a really good guide. And she likes
Absolutely.
to see people be successful in
I
developing.
believe so, yes.
Yeah.
And she's very knowledgeable and can answer a lot of questions. And we need to have her on the show one day. I asked her today, but I literally gave her 20 minutes notice. So I understand. And she wasn't even at the office at that time. But anyway, we need to have her down here because she can educate really well on the RDA program and what exactly it entails and how we're improving our downtown district, which I had some company here this weekend, and we were downtown, and they said, it is beautiful down here. So it just made my heart warm, and glad to hear that. And kudos to the RDA and Kathy Laughlin and the city for working on that downtown area.
Well, thanks, Jan. Absolutely. I agree. Kathy does a wonderful job on behalf of the city and just in the community and as a business person, as she has for many years. So I'll look forward to our visit. I know she's come on before. I think the last time was with Scott Wilkinson, our assistant city manager.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I haven't had her on here, but I think it would be great education for the public.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And she can see our new studio here, which radio listeners can't see, but we have this cool new space.
Right.
The last thing I'll remind everyone, because I know I got to get you out of here. We're that far? Oh, we're only 3 minutes over. Okay. The Arts and Culture Advisory Board, they're also ramping up. Their meeting is Wednesday, August 2nd, 4:30 p.m. in the council chambers, and they have some big projects. They're going to get an update from Redevelopment Advisory Council, looking over the arts brochure and map. They have a community tree that that's in time for the holiday season.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that's an exciting project.
And of course, we don't want to leave out the Mayor Arts Awards. They solicited local artists to design those awards as they do each year, and that's always exciting to see who gets chosen. And
it is. It's quite it's a fun process, and it's a great. At the end of it, it's a great event, and so if people are interested, they should definitely come to that.
Yeah, and one more project, they'll be discussing the 2026 Sester Centennial Art Project. That could be a big project. I know the last time we checked in, they're still working on some of the details, so I wouldn't want to misspeak in case things may have changed, but we'll look forward to an update on that, so that'll be great.
For sure, yeah, that would
All
be
right.
wonderful. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you so much, Jan. Jan Baum is our Elko City Manager, our guest on Tuesdays, Elko Live here on KELK. Thank you, listeners, for joining us. The regular council meeting will be at 4 o'clock this afternoon.